for climate and green energy?
Well, I think both sides are concerned about what's thrown in the air and in the water, but where there is a major disconnect and a total point of differentiation between the Republicans and the Democrats is what to do, particularly with Putin and Russia. We're buying 600,000 barrels of oil from Russia on a daily basis. And so it just begs the question, why not be energy independent? Why not turn on the spigot right now? Go ahead and pursue those green energy initiatives. But why turn off Keystone Pipeline, the drilling on federal lands, etc.? Why not do that right now to help Europe, help the United States, drive down the cost of gas?
Well, and interestingly enough, I mentioned this, there has been a lot of shift in COVID policy over the last, several days here in D.C. The masks as of midnight Eastern are no longer required. There's some action over on the Hill, too. Dr.Saphire tweeting this. Congress's attending physician now says face masks are no longer required in the Capitol complex. The timing is impeccable. I can't wait to see what other changes will come this week from the, quote, new science. Hashtag State of the Union. Kevin, listen, I think that, the images of people in the House chamber tomorrow night wearing fewer masks than they have in the past, I would imagine the White House is going to take a bit of a victory lap to say, look, we're in better shape, and that's why all these things can roll back now.
Yeah, Shannon, I'm just happy to see those masks coming down as a D.C. resident. I think it's going to stand in stark contrast to what we saw in the last president's address last year with a very sparse House chamber. I think this is something to celebrate. New infections, hospitalizations, deaths are coming down across the board in blue states, red states, purple states. That is something to celebrate, and I think that's something the president is going to speak to as we navigate, hopefully coming out of this COVID crisis in the third year alone that we're grappling with.
Yeah, and it's not just on the Hill. It's not just here in D.C. California, Oregon, Washington, dropping some school mask mandates. I mean, Kevin, Jason, it's happening in the bluest of areas. Is the timing suspect to you?
Yeah, it just so happens that's when the polling came in. You're telling me that the science just coincidentally landed one day before the president's giving the State of the Union? Oh my goodness. Amazing what a coincidence that is. We all know that this is a joke. The CDC has lost its credibility. I'm glad they're taking off the mask. Now do it on the airplanes. Get the masks off the kids in the schools, and let's get back to normal.
You're asking for a lot, gentlemen.